mission. Why am I here? I'm here to close the gap. That's the mission, to close the gap. We've been good. We've won a lot of games. It's time to win a championship. That's flat out why we're here.
Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me. Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me.
Long as I got sort of spirit, know that I can never lack. Know the Lord, he go before me, keep the cross up on my back. Tell my story for his glory, we ain't never going back. We ain't never going back, we ain't never going back. Trying to give eternal peace, we know recording that. This is not a lease, dog, I'm affording that. Don't care what a half a key cost, what's the point in that? Spirit shook me out my rebounds like a quarterback. Give a beat to every chat before I pull it out the back end. Deep inside my bag, you would've thought that I was packing. Way I swear the serpent would've thought that I was crashing. Man, I'm praying to the Father, this ain't luck and this ain't magic.
Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me. Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood.
Make it explicit so you will.
All right, and welcome to the first edition. It might be the first edition. I don't know. It's been so long since I've went live to the first edition. I'll just say of Josh Talk Sports. I'm your host, Josh Midget. Some of y'all may recognize me from Talkback Live with Bob and Josh from the days back at AM 730 in Memphis for over 10 years, or with Talkback Live Sports, or whatever iteration, Deliberation Sports, whatever else you see me on sports, or maybe the first time checking me out. I appreciate y'all, whoever may be watching and listening, whether you're on Twitter, watching on my Twitter, whether you're on Facebook Live watching. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for checking me out on tonight. I've been wanting to go live for quite a while, and I figured why not tonight, man? Better now than never, I guess, especially, and I got so much to talk about. This won't be a long episode. I just wanted to get back out there. There's definitely something I'm always passionate about, talking about sports and everything. And especially, even though I'm not currently living in Memphis, but lived in Memphis the majority of my life, Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm always going to be talking a lot about Memphis-related things, Memphis-related sports. And for most of my life, I grew up a fan of most Memphis sports, and specifically what I'm about to talk about now, as you saw in the title, one of the things I'm going to talk about tonight is Memphis Tigers football. Now, typically, you ain't going to see nobody go live, and, there's people that are doing that or whatever, but specifically talking about Memphis football. But there's a reason why I feel like now is no better time than now to start the conversation and to bring up a conversation about Memphis Tigers football, because I feel like the football program may have just made the best hire that they potentially have ever made at the University of Memphis. So I'm about to get into that. But first, again, my name is Josh Midget, host of Josh Talk Sports. Hopefully you're going to be seeing me a lot more frequently talking about things like this. And one thing I always welcome is interaction with the people. I'm not here just to hear myself talk. I'd like to hear from y'all as well in the comments, whether you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, Talkback Live Network on YouTube, my Facebook page, Josh Talk Sports on Facebook as well. You can follow me, see my talk opinions and talk on different things. So feel free to follow there as well. Hello to everybody. And if you're coming in, go and say hello. Give your opinions as well. Also, there is a phone number if you want to call in, scrolling on the bottom of the screen there. I do have that available right now. So it is 706-901-7798. So at any time, if you want to talk about that. But first, I'm going to kind of get into the discussion here, and I'll open it up for that in a little bit here. But again, I really think, and I saw the press conference, what I was really looking forward to was the press conference of Charles Huff on today. Because I got to be honest with you, I've been keeping up with the whole process of Memphis and looking for the new football coach, right? Personally, if y'all followed me, some of y'all may have seen my opinions in the past, maybe not me and Bob specifically. When you talk about Memphis football, I've never been a Ryan Silverfield fan. Probably even when he got the job. Maybe after that first press conference after Norvell left, when he spoke with that emotion. But I've really never been a fan of his. And I still don't think he's that good of a coach. I really think. And I think it was proven over the years that he was here with the University of Memphis that he's not a great football coach. I think he's a really good recruiter. I think so, he's got a way of seemingly convincing people that he's more than what he is. But I've never thought, and he never proved to me, that he was that good of a football coach. People like to make comparisons of, the multiple 10-win seasons. Well, look at the recruiting classes. Well, look at, he didn't let the program drop off a cliff after Norvell left. Here's what you got to consider. Perspective is king. And I think the perspective you have to have is the state of the program when he got it handed to him, meaning Ryan Silverfield. I'm talking about him for a second, leading into my thoughts on Charles Huff. So to kind of laying the foundation a little bit. What Silverfield walked into was not the Memphis program that Larry Porter walked into after Tommy West quit. It wasn't that, where the program was on the verge of being canceled, essentially. At a point where the Memphis football program, nobody was going to the games, where nobody cared nationally or locally at all about the program. That was the state of the program where Larry Porter took over. That's not the program Ryan Silverfield took over. Ryan Silverfield took over a program that was revitalized, brought to life by Justin Fuente, that was taken to another level by Mike Norvell, and was handed to him the keys to the Cotton Bowl, a BCS bowl game at the time that Memphis had not been to before. He was handed the keys to a Corvette or whatever hot car you want to make as an analogy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get the keys to a Pinto like Larry Porter was handled. If y'all know what a Pinto, it looked like a pinto bean. You know what I'm saying? That's what Larry Porter got. What Silverfield got was a car ready to go to the next level. Oiled up, oil was changed, it was brand new, spanking new, ready to go. And what did he do with it? He didn't quite crash it. I ain't gonna say he crashed it. But it got a lot of scratches on it, bumps and bruises. And he didn't take it to its full potential like it could have been. I think he was very fortunate to stay at the level that Memphis is right now. But when you get handed a job like that, you're not supposed to stay even with it. You're supposed to take it to another level. I think that's what Memphis expected when they hired Silverfield. I don't think he did that. And that's my opinion. But the reason I bring that up is not to bang on Silverfield, but to emphasize what I think we got in the new head coach, Charles Huff. I think you got a guy that is tailored to take a program to the next level. I think you got a guy that has the personality, the bravado, the leadership abilities to take a program and raise the level higher than where it was before. Just look at the evidence, right? He was with Southern Miss last year. As everybody's been said this stat ad nauseum, but I'll say it again. They were 1-11 the year before Charles Huff took over. And this past season, they finished 7-5 and going to a bowl game. You talk about the job he did at Marshall before then, where they won the Sun Belt Championship, where they beat an 8th-ranked Notre Dame team in an upset when he was the head coach at Marshall. When you talk about him serving under brilliant coaches such as Nick Saban and James Franklin, with storied history with players that have gone on in the NFL like Saquon Barkley and Najee Harris. These are not just guys that he happened to coach. These were guys that he molded, that he spent time with, that these guys credit him for their career. Talking about Saquon Barkley, a guy was up for NFL MVP that had, I think last year, 2,000 yards rushing and won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. So this isn't just a guy that we hired, in my opinion. I really feel like this could be potentially the best hire that the Tigers have ever had. Now, maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I'm being hyperbolic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just excited after the press conference when you got a guy to come in and fire you up like that. I have not seen a press conference for Memphis football ever like that. Hey, y'all let me know. If you have, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'm open to being wrong, and I'm open to all sorts of people's opinions. That's what it's here for. Not just for me to talk, but I want to hear and see what you guys have to say. Feel free to leave a comment. Also, do not forget to share and like as well, wherever you may be checking this out. So again, thank you all for watching and listening as well. But my thing is, again, and I'm going to play a couple clips that stood out to me. And right before I got on, I saw that he also did a press conference after the live stream where he took a bunch of questions from the media. And I definitely want to see that as well. And some things I read that the athletic director had said as well, which is very interesting to me. So I'm definitely going to check that out. But again, what do y'all think? Because look, I'll even give you this. When it comes to Charles Huff, I was a guy, when you go look at the process, a lot of people talked about Dan Mullen, the coach at UNLV, right? Big name, coach in the SEC, all that stuff, right? And it's one of those things where, okay, I was okay with the Dan Mullen thing. It wasn't high on my list, to be honest, because I think if he did take the job, it would just be a stepping stone. That was just my opinion. But Jerry Mack, the Memphis native at Kennesaw State, had seen several of his games just watching. I didn't even know he was from Memphis, to be honest with you, until this whole process. And he was the guy that was my favorite, actually, from Memphis to choose. And I heard about Charles Huff, but I didn't really look into it until it started to come out a little bit more that he could be the guy. Started watching some film on him and highly impressed. And I 100% understand what Memphis was thinking when they hired him. And especially now, seeing the press conference, I definitely get it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play, and these are short clips. Some of y'all may have already seen these. But these are some of the reasons why I'm excited, and I think most of y'all are probably excited about the new Memphis head football coach. Here's a little bit of Charles Huff earlier today.
Why am I here? I'm here to close the gap. That's the mission, to close the gap. We've been good. We've won a lot of games. It's time to win a championship. That's flat out why we're here. In closing, again, I couldn't be more thankful to be standing here. A message to the nation. Tigers are apex predators in the world. Apex predators are at the top of the food chain. Their job is to reset and establish order in the ecosystem. It's time for the Memphis Tigers to get to the top of the food chain and establish order and consistency in the college football ecosystem. And that's what I'm here to do. Go Tigers, go.
There it is. How can you not be fired up? Man, how can you not be fired up for that? It's not just a coach coming in and say, oh, well, golly gee, guys, we're just going to come in and hope we'll win that thing and and all this stuff. Look, here's the facts. And some of y'all may not like this, but this is how I felt. I feel like Silverfield was a cornball. Now, evidently, folks like the cornball enough to come and play for him, right? And, he seemed to recruit well. I think it's a lot of that, probably had a great staff and all that stuff, right? Felt like Silverfield was a cornball. If I played for him, I feel like I couldn't buy in. He just looks like a goof. Looked like a goof on the sideline. He looked like a goof in press conferences, all of that stuff. He coached like a goof, which is why he didn't have a great record against winning teams. That's a whole nother thing. But that ain't no goof that you saw. Charles Huff ain't no goof. Charles Huff, to me, looks like a man's man, a man that you'd want to send your son to go play for, and a man that, will not only make him a better player, but a better man. That's one of the things he talked about in the press conference as well. And he's not just settling for winning. He wants the program to be great and take it to that next level. And all the evidence, based on the other jobs he has had, I personally believe he is the guy to do the job. Definitely got to give credit to Ed Scott, the athletic director, as well. You could just tell him and the president of the University of Memphis over there shaking hands. And after the press conference, like, yeah, I did that. I made that hire. That's me. That's the way Ed Scott was looking over there after Charles Huff did his thing at the press conference. And that's what you want. Again, I know it's early. I know he hasn't even really gotten started yet. And some of this may be premature. Hey, count that to my enthusiasm. But it's not just hype. It's evidence. It's experience. You can't name to me one Memphis football coach that has the resume that Charles Huff has. Even Justin Fuente, the years he spent at TCU and all that. His resume prior to Memphis, Fuente, doesn't measure up to Charles Huff. National Recruiter of the Year in 2021. Associate head coach, not just an assistant, but the associate head coach at Alabama under Nick Saban. Do you know how much trust he had to have in him to have him as his associate head coach? Top recruiter, running backs coach. And especially at a school like Memphis that seems to turn out running backs all the time, whether it's Fuente or Norvell or even Silverfield. Just think about that. Coached under James Franklin at Penn State. Those are two guys, established head coaches. Established. Willing to put their reputation on the line and endorse this man. What's up, Kelly? Good to see you, man. But I want to know, what do y'all think of Charles Huff? Was he y'all's first choice to be the Memphis head coach? Did y'all really want somebody else? Did you rather have Jerry Mack, the Memphis native? Did you want Dan Mullen, UNLV? Personally, again, Dan Mullen, that's fine, whatever. I know he's a big name, and I know Memphis looks at, a big name. He could bring prominence to the program. And look, I wouldn't have been upset if he got the job. But to me, I don't feel like he would have stayed that long because I think he's trying to get back in the SEC. That's just me. Charles Huff, Jerry Mack, the reason I focus on those guys was because I feel like they are more apt to stick around because they have something to prove. I don't really think Dan Mullen had anything to prove except to try to get another big job. That's just me. But y'all let me know what you think. Again, I'm fired up. I think we have a real coach now. Coach that's not talking about light bulbs like Silverfield. If you saw his press conference, he says, what I'm going to do is change all the light bulbs. I want lights everywhere. Hey, look, that's fine, right? I like good light bulbs. The lamp behind me is real bright. I think Silverfield would love this bulb I got behind me. Evidently he's, focus on light bulbs. And if that's if y'all from Arkansas, y'all like light bulbs, let me know what it is about light bulbs to just get you excited enough to pay $37 million for a head coach that loves light bulbs. But again, as I said, good luck to Arkansas. I feel like they did the Memphis program a favor because it was not going up. It was, if anything, it was leveling off with Silverfield. I think they did the program a huge favor. Let's go to comment here. Kelly says, anyone will take the job and get them to the next phase, i.e. conference championship and a playoff appearance. Yeah. So you got Bishop Bob in the building. He says, who do you think will coach the Tigers during the bowl game? Well, from what I saw, I got Leon Taylor with 24/7 had put out there that Reggie Howard, I believe, is going to coach the Tigers during the bowl game. And Reggie Howard's already on the staff. He's a former NFL player, Memphian as well. A guy some people, talked about maybe would have been Wouldn't have been a bad hire for the head coaching job. It's neither here nor there. So that'll be interesting. Look, here's the thing. To me, I love bowl games, right? Some people get tired of bowl games lately, and not as much excitement. I'm cool with bowl games. It's a tradition, whatever. And the Tigers are going to the Gasparilla Bowl to play, I believe, North Carolina State. So if that gets y'all excited, hey, more power to you. I'll watch the game. I hope the Tigers win. But I'm more excited for the next steps in the future. That's just me. I hope Coach Huff focuses his attention on guys like Sutton Smith, A.J. Hill. A.J. Hill, if you don't remember, the highest recruit in the history of the Memphis Tigers program, 5-star quarterback that came to Memphis under Silverfield last year. Didn't play much under the quarterback that they had out there, even though I like Brendan Lewis, the quarterback, transferred from Nevada, but it's going to be a new quarterback next year because Lewis, I believe, is a senior, so you're not going to see him. So I think it's important for Coach Huff to focus his attention on the top guys that you can bring back. But one thing he said again, and I respect this, as a man, as a coach, and whatever else, he said, I'm not begging anybody. He wants volunteers, not prisoners. And I think that should be the mantra of any sport. I don't care, basketball, football, whatever you're watching or playing. You don't want a prisoner, somebody that's just there to be there, doesn't want to be there. I want winners. I want guys that want to win here, want to win with us, want to win with the program. So hopefully Sutton Smith and A.J. Hill stay. But if not, I think there is a pool of talent out there that this coach can bring in. Now, we know 2 assistants, I believe, that he's brought over. His defensive coordinator from Southern Miss and the defensive backs coach, Dominic Bowman, is coming on the staff. And Bowman is a Memphian, from Memphis and everything. So that's cool. He was on his staff at Southern Miss as well. A guy that's highly regarded, not just in Memphis, but around the country as a coach, assistant coach as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings. And I love the fact, and I'm sure every college coach says this, right? But still, I love the fact that he's coming out and saying, hey, I want Memphis. I want to lock down the city. I want to put a fence around Memphis, and all the best come to Memphis. Because Memphis has a lot of good, talented football players that go to the SEC, that go elsewhere. You see them all over the country. Why not keep the best here as well as getting the best from other places? So we'll see. And you can't tell me that Charles Huff doesn't seem like the type of coach you'd want to play for. So, again, that's just something I'm excited about. Y'all let me know what you think. Again, I'm going to play these clips one more time for some people that may not have seen it. And I also encourage you to go check it out on the Memphis Tigers YouTube channel, the press conference, the opening, I don't know, you say it's a press conference, really. It was more like a speech, opening speech. The press conference came later, I found out, in front of the media. And I do want to see that for myself as well. So, what's up, Leon? I see him liking the stream as well. What's good, man? Got to get you on as well. Man, start being consistent on this thing and getting some of my connections on here. It's a lot of exciting people. I'm looking forward to talking about sports with y'all. Not just Memphis either. I'm talking about this now, but there's a lot of things, NBA, NFL. I want to talk Grizzlies also because there's a lot of things going on with Ja Morant and the coverage he gets in the national media that is extremely annoying to me, as he is set to make his return on the 12th of December, this coming Friday. I love how the Grizzlies are promoting that, just as a side note. 12-12 day, December the 12th. Ja Morant's number is 12. 12 returns on the 12th of December. So I think that's really cool. He bought a bunch of tickets they're giving away. I think they gave away a lot of them today, if I'm not mistaken. I just think it's really cool that this making it feel special and make him know that they care about his return as well. So I'll talk more about that stuff in the future. Also, even I got to talk about this breaking news that's going on. And again, this is not Memphis related, but it relates in this way. Why it's very important you know who you hire for anything, let alone head coach. Have y'all heard about this stuff going on with Sherrone Moore? So if you haven't heard that name, he's the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, or he was. Put it that way. He was the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. But he got fired tonight, and a lot more has happened since he got fired. So let me pull this up because I want to make sure I see everything. I read it accurately because this is one of the craziest things I've ever heard or seen. And not just college football, but period, in any sport. So, hold on a second here. And I saw this right before I went live. So, Coach Sherrone Moore, and, I emphasize this, he is a black man. First black coach in Michigan football history. It's one reason why I was happy for him getting the job. He served under Jim Harbaugh for 6 years as an assistant. He actually was stepped in as head coach while Harbaugh was suspended before the year that Michigan won the national title. He stepped in for 2 games, took over as head coach for those games, and then came back with Harbaugh as they finished that season. But he was handed the reins once Harbaugh left and went back to the NFL to coach the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, absolute insanity has taken place. So, let me read this from Yahoo Sports. Sherrone Moore's time at Michigan is suddenly over. The Wolverines fired their head football coach this afternoon. The school fired Moore for cause due to an investigation of Moore, saying Wednesday the coach, quote, engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Michigan says the evidence was credible, and this conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Well, so I'm going to read this is the official thing, right, from Yahoo, and then there's some more behind-the-scenes stuff that's been reported on social media. Now, you take that with a grain of salt. But listen to this. Moore, after he was fired, according to ESPN's Dan Wetzel, was then detained by police in Saline, Michigan, which is just south of Ann Arbor, Michigan, tonight. He was turned over to police in Pittsfield Township for an investigation into potential charges. Now, according to the Detroit News, this is all about former Michigan coach Sherrone Moore, fired, and now he's been arrested. According to the Detroit News, there was an incident Wednesday that, quote, required police attention. It's unclear what that incident was or what charges Moore may be facing should he officially be arrested. He was still in police custody as of 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. That was 30 minutes ago. All right. Now, here's what social media is saying. Social media is saying he got this assistant lady pregnant, that he was either paying her or trying to force her to have an abortion, that after he was fired, he broke into her house after finding out, threatened to kill himself, put a knife to her neck, and all sorts of things. So, that's the insane part that I'm reading. And this is all going to come out more and more. So just kind of keep an eye on social media. But the national news outlets ain't putting this out there because there's a lot of stuff. So again, this has elevated from coach being fired for being a little, icky to some real dangerous stuff here. All right, here's a little bit more. These are from sources up there in Michigan. So the account I'm reading this from is verified. Okay, because this information keeps changing. But here's this. According to a guy, Rob Reinhardt, on Twitter, that he says sources have provided him with this information. That during an argument with his wife, because he is married, by the way, Moore threatened to kill himself, then drove to and broke into the home of his assistant, where he held a knife to his own throat and threatened to kill both himself and this woman that he cheated with. What's up, man? What's good? What's good, Anthony Sane? I know I'm reading this morbid stuff, and I see Sane. What's good, man? Appreciate your support as always, brother. But yeah, man. So, in case you're just coming in, Sherrone Moore, first black head coach in Michigan history, led the team to 9-3 this past season, was fired. Then it's coming out, it's being speculated that during the argument with his wife, threatened to kill himself. Then he drove to the home of his assistant that he was cheating with, allegedly got pregnant, held a knife to his throat, threatened to kill himself and her. Also being reported that he was then intercepted at a local church after his wife provided his phone's location to the police. They say he is now in protective custody. So, man. So I don't know. Again, there's so much information flying around. Take the certain things you see on social media with a grain of salt. But I'm usually pretty good at deciphering certain information, and I've seen multiple sources here talking about this. And I'm even looking live as we talk. So crazy, crazy stuff. But, some people are talking about, hey, this goes down in the lore of what? My guy in Arkansas that was riding on the motorcycle with the staffer. He got in that accident, Petrino. Jet, I know that was one guy you wanted for the Memphis job, Jet. Old Petrino. But yeah, man. So crazy stuff. But this is why it's important that you make a good hire. And like I said, I ain't saying Sherrone Moore ain't a good coach. I mean, he's proven to be good at what he did at Michigan. This is all unfortunate. If all of this is true, this is wildly unfortunate. Now, I understand, right? You lose your job. You get fired. This is kind of a big deal. Your livelihood. But it's your own decision-making, dude. You got a wife. You're making a whole bunch of money. You're at one of the biggest jobs in the nation that people would beg to get. You're the first black coach at Michigan. And that does matter to me. I ain't a Michigan fan, but I like that, But yeah, you do something like this, man. It's just unfortunate. If all this is true, it's unfortunate. You hate to see it. But at the same time, it ain't worth it, bro. But y'all let me know in the comments, man. I know, it's a shout out to all y'all watching, a lot of y'all on Twitter also as well. Shout out to you. This is Josh Talk Sports. We're talking about Charles Huff, new head coach at Memphis. And then the unfortunate news with the Michigan head coach. So I'll read a little bit more here. So I ain't going to put the lady's name out there, but you can find her all on Twitter. They done found who she is. She's the executive assistant to the head coach. They done found her LinkedIn page. They done found pictures of her out there. They done found her father, who's actually a top scout for the Chicago Bears. Gee whiz. And according to everything, he is in police custody in Detroit. Unfortunate, man. I almost don't even know what else to say about that one. So, hey, unfortunate stuff, to say the least. But, hey, I don't know, man. We'll see. But that's going to do it for me tonight, man. I just wanted to come on, kind of break the seal a little bit about getting back on here and talking sports, man. This is always my passion. Love to do it. A lot of these thoughts have been bubbling up inside, ready to get out there. This I know I'm good at doing it, like doing so. Let me also read this comment. Shout out to Jet. He said about the Memphis hire, Charles Huff. I like the hire, but this is Memphis, man, in the Trump era. Think about the landscape of things right now. We have a black AD, black associate AD, black head basketball coach, and now a black head football coach. He better win because today's athletics are all about money. Can strong black men raise the kind of money necessary, especially in a city 75% poor and black with high racial tensions? Just telling the truth. You know what beats all that, Jet? Winning. Because I don't care what a lot of these racist white folks will tell you. If you black and you winning, they all for you. They all for you, man. They're going to give that money. Look at, and I know Penn State's totally different, but I feel like if you look at James Franklin and, strong black head coach, right? At Penn State, all them white folks at Penn State, coming off of Joe Paterno, couldn't have been more different, right? James Franklin comes in there in the same atmosphere. Look, Charles Huff was with James Franklin for 4 years at Penn State. So I think he knows how to operate in situations where you got rich white folks and you need them to donate money to the program. Now, I know Penn State is more established, right? So he kind of had that as an advantage. But established or not, if you're a Negro, and like I said, I'm blunt on here. If you're a Negro and they don't like you and you ain't winning, they ain't going to give you no money. But if you're a Negro and you're winning, oh, bro, I love that one. Oh, that's one of those I love. I love him. I love that African American right there, boy. It's just something about him. Yeah, just something about him, right? But hey, look, you do what you got to do. And I guarantee you Charles Huff knows what to do. Think about where he's been now. He was at Alabama. Okay, you know who's there. He was at Penn State. You know who's there. Southern Mississippi. Not even Northern or Oxford, Southern Miss. So I think, I think he knows how to play the game. Marshall, the Thundering Herd. Come on now. I think Charles Huff knows how to operate amongst the type of folks he needs to operate around. Now, I'm just being real. Y'all can say, oh, I don't see color. Well, first of all, you're lying. We all see color. I see color. I don't look down on you on color, but I see it. And so do they. I think Charles Huff knows what he needs to do and how to maneuver. This is college football. Y'all know who runs all this stuff. If you're a black coach, you know what you need to do. And you can still be a proud black man while doing it. Because you're winning. Why do you think these schools are starting to accept? This may be a little bit different topic, but why do you think a lot of these teams, pro and college, are starting to accept black quarterbacks now? Because they realize these Negroes will win at quarterback. They thought our brains weren't quick enough to process being a field general. You need to be Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady to lead my team, right? Oh, guess what? Not no more. How much of the NFL's got black quarterbacks? Why? Because they all of a sudden love blacks? No, because they win. Patrick Mahomes, winner. Lamar Jackson, winner. So many guys. I don't know if more than half the league. You're talking about Jaden Daniels. You're talking about Cam Ward. You're talking about there's so many guys you can think about. Let's be real now. Shout out to Dale O.B. Taylor. Says, stop it. Oh, I guess I'm telling too much truth there. Hey, it is what it is. But again, this ain't all about that. This is about, I love the Charles Huff hire. This is about, to the question that Jet asked, I think he's going to know how to maneuver when need be, and how to. You go to Bishop Bob's comment, say he's going to be a winner. That's right. Sit under Nick Saban. That's right. He was under Nick Saban. And these are guys that talk highly. Nick Saban wrote a whole letter to Memphis about him being a great hire. Jet says, unfortunately, he can't even be Silverfield. He has to win the league year after year. See, that's what comes with it. I do get that. And even all this praise I'm heaping on Coach Huff, right? It is going to be some pressure. Because you come in and people are going to expect greatness right off the bat. Is that fair? I think that's what he wants. You know? He did preach that, hey, and I think with any coach, there's an adjustment period. You got to get your guys in. When a new coach comes in and a coach leaves, players are going to leave. Players are going to come in. That's going to be a process. You bringing in a new staff. That's going to be a process. So I do think all of that is fair. But in this atmosphere in sports, this just comes with it. With NIL, with the transfer portal, with the state of recruiting nowadays. I think it's more conducive, to success sooner, but with that becomes more expectations sooner. So it's almost a catch-22 if you catch my drift. So it's one of them things, man. I mean, we'll see. The pressure's there, though. Let's see what else we got here. Bob says, Bishop Bob says, do you think Memphis football can sell out their first game next year? I think so. I think with a guy like Charles Huff, I think you can actually get the fans hype. Because again, I'll say this about Silverfield again. I didn't get excited about nothing. When he did interviews, I'm like, dude, you talking in circles. You ain't saying nothing. You look like Opie Taylor out there. Just look like a goof. You talk like a goof. You don't commit to nothing. And I guess that's how coaches have to talk. Don't commit to nothing. But the way he did it just got on my nerves. I ain't like it. He always looked like his headphones were too big for his head. These are stupid things I'm talking about, right? But this is honestly what I felt, man. I want to feel confident in my coaches over there. I mean, we got a coach that looked like, what he look like? I got to show y'all what he looked like to me. Hold on. We got a coach, man. He's got a huge forehead. Now I'm all for that. No knock on big forehead Charles Huff. There's a lot of knowledge up there. That's why the head looks like that, in my opinion. But man, I had a clip up here. I don't know where it went, man, but I'm just saying, man. I'm all for Coach Huff, man. Let me see. Maybe this is it. Hold on a second. Yeah, here we go. We got a coach that look like this, man. You got a coach. I want him to say this one day on the sideline in a press conference after they win the AAC and make it to the college football playoffs. This is Coach Huff.
Oh, my brother, testify.
That's Coach Huff. You can't tell me he don't look like Devon Dudley. That's my coach.
Oh, my brother, testify.
That's my coach. I want a coach to look like a wrestler, man. He look like he out here putting people through tables. I'm telling you. What's up, Kelly? He got a comment. He said he's shown the most enthusiasm at the Arkansas press conference than he ever did at Memphis. I think so. He's still like a goof, but he had a suit on. I guess that was the difference. Man, look, I'm sure he got $37 million. $37 million. He's making $6.7 million a year, Silverfield. So I'm sure that'll help with your enthusiasm. He's so enthused, he's gonna go buy light bulbs. I don't want to hear about no coach talking about buying light bulbs. I saw people in Memphis talking about, yeah, Silverfield, get them hyped up. Ain't getting no hyped up for no doggone light bulbs. No 40 watt. Come on, man. And the only reason he brought that up is because of Walmart. Y'all notice he brought up Walmart. I wish I had that clip too, where he said, "Oh, I just thought about I gotta get light bulbs in here. I gotta brighten it up, brighten up whatever. I thought about going to Walmart and getting a light bulb. You know, Walmart's a big donor to Arkansas. Sam Walton, all that. Come on. Only reason you said that corny crap. I'm glad he's out of here. Y'all say what you want. That's right, Jake. Get the tables. That's what we got. We got a tag team champion as our coach, man. Ain't trying to hear nothing else. There go Bishop Bob again. Say he's a coach with authority. If they want to play, he will make Memphis a great football program. I agree. GKP in the building. What's good, man? He watching the Spurs. Yeah, I forgot you're a Spurs fan, man. Good to see you, brother. I appreciate you popping in. Appreciate you popping in. But yeah, man. We got a coach that to get the tables on them people, man. Silverfield, I feel like he tried to get a table. He tripped and fallen through the table. Been a lost a match for us. Who would win a wrestling match? Silverfield or Charles Huff? That'd be a 2-minute squash. Charles Huff 3D through the table. It's over. I don't want my coach looking like a goof. For 6 or 7 years, we had goofball over there. Running around with the headphones too big for his head. And this is my dad that pointed this out first, Bob. You see Bishop Bob. Bob and Josh. He's in the comments there. He the first one pointed out to me. Look at him with them headphones. How you going to keep adjusting your headphones? Come on, man. What you doing? But I said, Silverfield would make a great junior high school coach. See? He's been saying that for a while, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Memphis is clearly excited. I don't know if I've seen a coaching press conference with that many people in attendance. They had the big setup with the big screen and the stage and all that. I think they're all in. And when you get up there and say, we want to win a championship, that's what I want to hear. He literally said, we ain't trying to sit here and settle for this mess no more. We want to win. Let me find one more thing for y'all. Y'all got me fired up. I was about to go earlier. I'm still going to go here in a few. But let me find this. Let me find this. Because it was a quote that looked like from the Memphis athletic director that really caught my attention. Here it is. Now, credit to this quote. This is from Jonah Dillon, covers the Tigers and the Grizzlies for Memphis News. He put this tweet out because he was at the press conference. That was after the big speech that the coach did. So I hadn't seen this, but he's put out some quotes from Ed Scott, the athletic director at Memphis. Stood out to me. Two things. One, this is Ed Scott, quote, "There were a lot of people on social media that wanted me," meaning the athletic director, "to hire Dan Mullen because of the video he did in 2023 when he talked about how good our facilities are." Dan Mullen, I believe, when he was coaching Mississippi State, when they came to Memphis, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Then also Ed Scott, the athletic director, quote, he said, "We had a good year. Ryan Silverfield would tell you." Listen again. This is the athletic director at Memphis. He said, quote, "We had a good year. Ryan Silverfield would tell you. I'm telling you, and anyone on my team or anyone in that football locker room would tell you, that was a disappointing year. We lost 3 games at the end of the year, and we had a legitimate shot to make the college football playoffs." That's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been trying to tell Memphis fans for the longest about Silverfield. He settled for okay. Every area, in my opinion, that he was deficient as a coach never got any better. And this year, when you finally have a team, you finally have the perfect circumstances. The college football playoff has expanded to 12 teams. You're Memphis, you got a great recruiting class. You're actually coming back with some confidence, and you're at a point where either coming into the season, people are talking about Memphis is one of the big group of 5 schools that could actually make the playoffs. You don't know how long this format's going to last because you got people on national TV talking about, we don't need those group of 5 schools in the playoffs. We need to let more SEC schools or Big 12 schools in. We don't know how long this is going to last, where if Memphis doesn't get into a Power 4 conference, they may not even have another chance like they did this past year to get into the playoff, because they're talking about removing teams like Memphis and teams in those conferences because they say even no matter what their record is, they don't deserve to get in over a 3-loss SEC school. So the urgency was not there. You know why it wasn't there? Because as much as Silverfield talked the big game, October, think about this. When Memphis started losing, it was around October. The athletic director in Arkansas said he first contacted Silverfield in October. You got recruits talking about that were committed to Memphis, talking in interviews, saying, man, I heard about Coach going to Arkansas months ago. Hold on now. You got a chance to go to the playoffs with the team you're in with right now. You start losing in October games you shouldn't lose. It's also the same month that you're distracted by trying to get another job in the SEC. You blow the opportunities and lose to schools like UAB that were terrible. Blow your chance to go to the playoffs, and then you take off. Think about that. Think about it. And Ed Scott, and I love that he said this in the press conference, the athletic director said Ryan Silverfield would tell you this was a good year. He said, I'll tell you, and everybody else in that locker room will tell you, that is a bunch of crap. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say the bunch of crap part, but he said I would disagree with that notion. And Scott said everybody else around here is disappointed, while Silverfield's happy buying light bulbs at Walmart in Arkansas. You don't know how long this is going to last, and that's why I think I give Ed Scott credit. I give the University of Memphis credit. You have to be urgent with who you hire, because you have the opportunity for however long this lasts, because they already want to change the format, to get into the national title conversation. As it stands right now, if you have a good season next year, you're in there. Look who's in the playoff right now. James Madison made the college football playoffs. Tulane in your own conference out of the AAC is in the college football playoffs. Memphis should be right there. Memphis should be playing Tulane, should be playing Ole Miss in the college football playoffs. But they blew it because their coach didn't want to keep the eye on the prize. His prize was in Arkansas. But I believe that the current coach has his eyes on the prize. One, because it'll benefit him. Let's not get it mistaken now. These coaches, for their own edification and resume and everything else, there's nothing wrong with that, wants to achieve the goals. It doesn't make Charles Huff. This ain't Southern Miss where they're happy with 7-5. This is Memphis that has multiple straight years of having 10 wins. This is Memphis with an athletic director that's hungry and thirsty to get in the college football playoffs, to get into a better conference so they don't have to be on edge and have to go undefeated almost just to make the conversation of getting in. I think they all know the urgency of the moment. So these are things to think about, man. And I say it again, so I'm going to get on out of here. Arkansas did Memphis a favor by hiring a goof away and bringing in a hungry head coach that actually knows how to lead, man. Now, the proof's going to be in the pudding on the field. But based off his stops everywhere else, he's the most qualified head coach Memphis has hired, probably ever. So that should give you some hope right there. But as for me, y'all, that's going to do it for me. I'm glad to get back on here, man. I got the juices flowing, man. They sound kind of weird, but basically got the energy going. This is what I love to do. Glad that y'all joined in. If you haven't, share this video, like the video. Also, like my Facebook page, Josh Talk Sports, where you can see all my stuff on there. And also my Twitter at Josh Talk Sports as well on Twitter. Also live on Twitter. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter as well. So y'all check me out on there. Also follow the YouTube Talkback Live Network on YouTube. You can see all our stuff. Talkback Live with Bob and Josh, show with me and my father do, talking about everything. We'll talk sports, we'll talk news, we'll talk politics, we'll talk anything essentially. So be sure and check that out as well. Those should be coming back soon. Been real busy with other things, but definitely want to get back to what I love to do, just talking sports here, man. So appreciate y'all watching. If you haven't hit like already, do that. If you've enjoyed the stream, and it will be greatly appreciated. So, and any further ado, I'll finish with Coach Huff.
Oh, my brother, testify.
And
in closing, again, I couldn't be more thankful to be standing here. A message to the nation. Tigers are apex predators in the world. Apex predators are at the top of the food chain. Their job is to reset and establish order in the ecosystem. It's time for the Memphis Tigers to get to the top of the food chain and establish order and consistency in the college football ecosystem. And that's what I'm here to do. Go Tigers, go.
Pray to God every day he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me. Pray to God every day he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me.
Long as I got sort of spirit, know that I can never lack. Know the Lord, he go before me, keep the cross up on my back. Tell my story for his glory, we ain't never going back. We ain't never going back, we ain't never going back. Trying to give eternal peace, who you know recording that. This is not a lease, dog, I'm affording that. Don't care what a half a key costs, what's the point in that? Spirit shook me out my rebounds like a quarterback. Give a beat to every check before I pull it out the back. packing. Deep inside my bag, you would've thought that I was packing. Way I swear the serpent would've thought that I was crashing. Man, I'm praying to the Father. This ain't luck and this ain't magic.
Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's the hood in me. Pray to God every day, he put that good in me. I keep 2 hitters on the road, that's
Yeah,
the hood in me.
make it explicit so you believe.